Hey guys, and welcome again to VIVR, Visually Impaired Virtual Reality. Today I am going to talk about Serious Sam VR. Now, just to clarify, since there are a few, the Serious Sam VR game that I'll be reviewing today is Serious Sam: The Last Hope. Now, I actually ordered this game when it was first released in early access. It just looked like a high-quality title from a well-known company. The IP is good. The intellectual property, the Serious Sam franchise is a cool and established franchise, so I was really excited to play this game. Now, I will say first, the game is very high quality. It is a gorgeous game. It deserves all of the positive reviews and love that it has gotten. But I will say, as a VI player, I found it quite challenging. Honestly, this was a hard review for me to do because it is apparent, it is extremely obvious that the developers of this game did a great job creating the game. I know when it first came out there were some issues of it being kind of lacking and people were not happy, and then they released some big patches and some great updates, and then everybody was happy again, and that's awesome. Okay, so the purpose of this podcast is to review games from the visually impaired player's point of view. As such, I guess they can't all be great, so I can't recommend this game to visually impaired players of VR, at least those with vision similar to my own. The reason for that is, while the game is gorgeous, when you enter the game, there's a number of stages you can choose to play on, and they are all gorgeous. You're kind of limited to your play space, so you stand around in your play space and you can take a few steps here or there. There's no teleporting or anything. You stay in kind of that little area, and then you shoot. It's a wave shooter. Lots and lots of monsters and cool things are going to come at you, and you need to shoot them with your handguns. And they come from very far away, and you need to shoot them while they are still very far away, because if you don't, they will kind of team up, and it will be a huge horde of them on you before you know it, and then you'll die, like I always do. So the issue is this. If you can't keep control of the play field by destroying the enemies before they get too close, then you're pretty much done. It's kind of the object of the game. Now, I did not do my research when I bought the game. I did not know that was the type of game it is. But to be fair, I would have bought it anyway because I wanted to support the developers, and I wanted to see how this game looked because it was, from well-known developers and using well-known characters. And that said, I would definitely recommend this game to players who do not have any vision issues whatsoever. If you see very well, this game is awesome. The graphics are great, the story is great, the voice acting is great, the music is great. However, if you are a VI player, gosh, I couldn't even get past the first level. If you could walk around on these stages and actually explore them and teleport, it might be a different story, or maybe if you're able to progress the game to a certain extent and unlock different weaponry, it may be easier to manage things, but for me, the first few levels you start with dual handguns, which feels really cool and is a lot of fun, although my trigger finger got tired by the end of it. It's just not a game that I could play well. I believe they introduced multiplayer, but I don't actually know anyone else who has it, so I haven't been able to test that out. Although I am sure I would be a burden on my team, and that's not really cool. So, long story short, they can't all be great reviews, and while this game deserves a great review in general, for the VI player, I am not sure that I can recommend it. It was very difficult for me. Of course, your experience may be different, and if you feel motivated to try it, please do. And let me know your experiences. I might even talk about it on the podcast. But me personally, I had difficulty with it to the point where I would have difficulty recommending it. If you have a friend who has VR and they like wave shooters, I recommend it. You should recommend it. It's great. The quality is wonderful. The developers are awesome. And like I said, I was torn leaving this review, but I have to be honest. For VI players, maybe spend your time and money on another title. Well, that does it for this week's episode of VIVR. If you have any additional questions, as always, you can email at vivr@ddbluezero.com or check us out on Facebook at VIVR.